everyone, this is Depano here. I wanted to showcase my Wander before I start spending a lot of money on it. Um, I would say right around now, my build is around 20 to 30 divines. The majority of the cost of my build at the moment is these primordial jewels, which are about 3 divines each, and there's 3 of them. So that's 9 divines. Pain attunement at the time of this video was around 5 to 6 divs to make the jumpy jewel. The timeless jewel was a divine, and miscellaneous gear, the dying sun. It pushes around 30 divines, and that's why I wanted to make the video now before we go into more. Like soon we're gonna buy empowers, enlightens, headhunters. But I'm gonna showcase the video real quick. We have a cemetery map tier 16. We're gonna alch it. We're gonna val it, and this is minus max res. And I'm just gonna showcase the build, what it looks like, how it feels. It's 25 chaos res, 74 block, 75 spell block, and I'm gonna link the POB so we have a reference point for people that are just starting the league to look at. When I start league, I like to do shrines. So what I'll do when I'm doing completions is, if I have the extra chaos, or if the scarab is not too much money, I'll buy the scarab and I'll open up with dominations for 4C. This will give me simulated headhunter buffs. Not exactly the same thing, but definitely helps make mapping comfortable. Alright, so we're not wearing a headhunter, we're just wearing our abyss belt. But we can see how the build performs. Killed that rare pretty quickly. Tier 16 map. If you actually look at my wand and my gear, it's nothing too special. My shield was very lucky, and if you wanted to copy the build to the T and have the shield the way it is, you just need to buy a bunch of shields and just shaper slam a suffix in it, like 1 out of 10 times or something like that. You'll get this mod, maybe 1 out of 20. But there's a bunch of different mods you can get, and you don't necessarily need to go exactly the same route I did. The problem with my shield is it's putting reservation on the heralds, and putting reservation on the heralds is actually kind of counterproductive to using the Lycia mastery. The Lycia mastery is this thing right here. I don't exactly haven't really like figured out how I want to approach this, but basically the more mana you reserve for your heralds, the more buff effect. I think there's like a little bit of a trick right now with the Essence Worm Ring or something like that, where you can, get 60 buff effect by just equipping the Essence Worm Ring. So this is a tier 16 boss. When I get there, I push spacebar to put an Arcanist brand down. I didn't push all this stuff because I was just yapping, but I pushed spacebar that puts an Arcanist brand down. This puts a level 1 Hydrosphere and a level 1 Tornado that will like kind of just help me shotgun off of a little bit and stuff like that. I'll put a Wall of Force down. I'll put a Sigil of Power down, and I'll also put a Command Graph down. Command Graph looks like this, and when you stand in it, you get a Radiant Ground, and the Radiant Ground says your damage with hits is lucky, and you are dealing added lightning damage. So it gives me 16 to 245 lightning damage, and my hits are lucky. Alright. So that was the map without a headhunter. Again, I could sit here and do more, show you, but minus max res. Not too many close calls. We had a couple shrines for power. Pretty realistic to what it would be like while you were farming your whatever you think is best to farm the currency for a headhunter. Alright. The current version of the build right now that I'm rocking feels really good. And again, I think it was closer to 30 divines, but I think if you're good with your money and frugal with your money, you could probably make the current version for 20 divines. Like for example, you do not need this jewel like this. You could skip this jewel completely, the impossible escape, and go for the one notable here for spell damage, and skip the all that extra stuff that I did. So remember, there's many different ways to approach it. You don't have to do it exactly the same way that I did, and you can easily save 10 divines by doing that and make the build for 20 divines. All right. one more time just for idea. I hit my W key to put a signal of power down. I hit this and I move back into it. I push my Arcanist brand and I push my Wall of Force, and then all that stuff together gives me damage, and shotgunning power. And for some reason, KB just seems like it's slapping this league. All right. Normal tier 16 map. KB 20 to 30 divs of gear. We have a POB that we will attach, and we will be streaming and upgrading and min-maxing the build. Special shout out to Barius again, 2 leagues in a row, because he did push me out of my one-of-a-kind, amazing, untouchable Wintertide brand build and into this build. So I'm pretty glad I did try this build. But now we have the nice mystery of finding the loot. We can't find the loot. That's the issue at the moment. We are looking for the loot. So while we look at the POB, we kind of stretch all over the place. We're grabbing Golem effect like last league, Golem effect, Golem effect, Golem effect, and in game we can see we have Ice Golem. It gives us accuracy and crit chance. Flame Golem gives us damage and AoE. Stone Golem gives us life regen and defenses, and Lightning Golem gives us attack and cast speed and mana regeneration. We are at a whopping 4,300 life and 941 ES. We have ES on kill for 2 points just to be safe. This pairs really well with Headhunter buffs and stuff like that, because Headhunter tons of times does give you a bunch of ES. So I don't know why Path of Building is very, very weird. You can't import all the wands yet. Keep that in mind. If you are having problems with the POB, just let me know. Impossible escape. Pain attunement. All right. That concludes the YouTube video. Like I said, we will be spamming currency into the build. I look forward to seeing you on Twitch. Thank you for watching the video, and talk to you soon.